Welcome, welcome, welcome to yet another edition of Red Carpet Trailer Trash. My name is Ian Collins, and joining me in this new year is Mr. Connor Rock. How are you doing, Connor?
I'm doing okay, but isn't this our second episode of the new year?
Yeah, but we're finally fully into it.
What did we do last time? I don't remember.
I mean, last time it was more just kind of a tepid, we had just gotten back.
Oh
The
yeah,
new
and we
year had
talked
just
about
started.
Star
We're
Wars.
now,
Yeah, all right,
yeah.
I remember.
It felt like we were still back in 2019 with that Star Wars discussion.
That's fair. All right, so fully in the new year, I'm doing good. All the usual stuff that I'd usually say here. Just I might just got it from other episodes. What about you? How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great. I'm kind of trying to trying to figure out how I'm gonna get started with a new workout regimen to try and be a healthy person.
Whew.
See if I actually stick with it, or if I'm one of those losers that says I'll do that at the start of the new year and then just doesn't.
I feel like that's like everybody.
Yeah.
Is it, I always do the same thing, and then I'm not one of the guys that go out and buy like a gym membership. Like I'm not that optimistic, but I'm like, okay, well I need to start maybe running again and actually doing some stuff, and it works for a little bit, and then it real tapers off like in like March.
Yeah, I was doing really well last year when I first moved to DC, and then I sprained my knee in Morgantown in September, and I just haven't been able to get back into the habit again since then.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things. Like I hit a point where it's just I feel healthy enough, and then I stop, and then I'm like, oh god, I'm a piece of shit. I need to do more, and then
I have
like
never hit that point.
well, maybe 2020 is your year. It is the year of perfect vision, the year perfect vision to your goal of whatever it was you said, workout regimes, regiments. It's not a
Regiment.
regime. Oh boy, all right. So that's good and all good and whatnot. Do we want to talk about what we're going to talk about?
Sure, that would make sense, wouldn't it? Yeah, in
I
today's
think so.
episode, it's we're gonna be discussing the war epic 1917. The new film by Sam Mendes, and then we're going to look ahead to this week's releases, which we've only got two set up for this week. There's Bad Boys for Life and Doolittle, starring Robert Downey Jr.
Why does he get mentioned?
Well, because it differentiates it from Doctor Doolittle, the Eddie Murphy comedies.
Okay, honestly, I thought this was a reboot, remake, whatever of the Doctor Dolittle comedies, and I was not ready for the trailer.
You just out of curiosity, you do realize that those were based off of I'm not sure if it was a novel, but like an actual
It's like a
story from like
it's a
the
series of
1800s.
it's a series of kids books,
Yeah.
which I will talk about this later. I just was not expecting what I got from the trailer. The first like 5 seconds, I was like, "What the fuck is this?" And then I don't know. We'll get into it later. There's your teaser for the week.
Yeah.
You're
I
always talking
always
about
like
doing
to.
teasers.
I was actually about to. I was about to say that this is our teaser for the week, as if we're professionals or something.
Hey, we are 17 episodes in, and we've never been further from professionals.
Uh,
I think
it makes me sad that you're that correct.
we were more professional in like our first episode, which still has yet to see the light of day.
Honestly, that's a hidden bonus episode for anyone that asks.
Oh wait, no, not the first, not the one that's going in the vault, but the second first. I guess it doesn't matter. We've lost something along the way, and it may have been attention, it may have been caring, it may have been detail orientation.
It may have been our minds. Who knows?
Yeah, but to be fair, uh, It's okay. It's getting better. It's getting less professional, maybe entertaining.
Maybe the professionalism, that's what's been holding us back.
That could be true. But what is professionalism? Like,
A social construct?
yeah, even unprofessional people are very successful. I mean, look at recent news. Oh, speaking of which, so I'm gonna go on a tangent. I didn't end up doing it, but I had to give serious consideration to blocking Kate, my girlfriend, on Twitter and she just poked her head out here. Get out of here, because I joined, like, I logged on the other day and she sent me the link about like Gwyneth Paltrow's vagina candles, and I just didn't really need that in my life.
Yeah, I forgot that was a thing.
But that's
What
what made me
happened?
think about, because she's a professional. She runs a company and she's making pussy scented candles. Am I allowed to say pussy on here?
I mean, I'm pretty sure that I say far worse language-wise.
Okay, I didn't know. It's still a pseudo dirty word. It's one of the last ones left. Maybe.
Is that like the 7 dirty words you can't say on television?
Yeah, we should make 7 words you can't say on this podcast.
Is one of them antiquing?
It can be. That can be the 7th one. Because I was thinking.
Do you actually know what that's a reference to? The 7 dirty words you can't say on television?
That was like a George Carlin skit.
Yes, sir. Proud of you.
Yeah, in my con law 2 class, maybe it was 1. Oh god, I just fucked up my contact. Our professor like handed that out, and we read it, because we were talking about like censorship and free speech that week, I guess. So I've never actually heard it, but I have read it, and let me tell you, it doesn't translate that well to 1, 2019, or 2, the text format.
I don't know. I feel like it still probably would produce a few chucks.
I mean, you get like the gist, yeah. And it's also, this is the same class where we went on Pornhub.
Excuse me?
We all just walked in one day, because we were once again, we're talking about like censorship and what constitutes like obscene versus expression. And my professor just gets Pornhub on like the projector, and we just reading through the names of like all the videos, and I gotta say, it was probably the most awkward, just very uncomfortable like 4 minutes of my life, because it went on way longer than it should have.
I would be laughing the entire time.
It was me and this one guy who was like, I was kind of friends with, not like super good friends with, but we just looked at each other like, what the fuck is going on? But yeah, that's one of the perks they don't tell you about law school. You get to watch porn in a class of 30 people. Public porning. That's what everybody wants.
You can do that in any class. It's just a lot harder to get away with.
It's not a group effort then either. It's more of a
Once again, depends on the class.
I guess that's true. You and 30 of your closest friends want to make a thing happen. But
so I have to ask, is obscenity still described as I know it when I see it?
I'm not a good lawyer, but
you're not a lawyer at all.
Well, yeah, I'm definitely not a good one. I'm not a good JD holder, so I'm gonna say yes.
Do I have to call you doctor now, since you aren't going to get your bar?
Technically, you should, but please don't.
I'm gonna start calling you Mr. Dr. Professor.
All right, I'll take it. That's fine. But yeah, from what I remember, it's obscenity is just like, yeah, it's essentially I know it when I see it, but maybe they have some actual elements now. I don't remember. This was 2 years ago, and I barely paid attention then. But anyway, I've derailed us long enough. Let's get into the meat of the podcast.
I thought we were already discussing meat on this podcast.
Oh no.
And on that point,
No.
we will move on to the movie 1917. This movie was directed by Sam Mendes,
So,
and
real quick, who is Sam Mendes? Should I know him from directing anything?
I believe his most famous other work is his American Beauty
Okay.
with Kevin Spacey.
Yeah, no,
It's
I know the movie.
oh, okay.
I his name sounded kind of familiar, and I didn't know if he did anything like. I guess that's a pretty big film, but that's fairly old. What's
I
it?
mean, he won Oscars for it, so I figured that was probably the best.
Oh, that's just like the best. That's not the last thing he did.
No,
Okay,
no,
okay,
that's
okay.
just the best. The last thing he did, I think, may have been Spectre.
Oh yeah, I think it says that. It said that in the trailers for 1917. That makes
I
sense.
mean,
No,
I
don't
can
worry about
effort
it. It's
this.
okay. No, it's absolutely not worth the effort. Go ahead. Continue on, Sam
I've
Mendes.
already done it, but
Oh my god, technology is so quick. All right, so
yeah, he did Skyfall, Revolutionary Road, Road to Perdition. He's been doing a lot of TV series lately.
okay.
He's only directed 10 movies. Uh, yeah, Spectre was the last full-length feature film that he did.
Sounds good. All right, yeah, that was just for my curiosity. Sorry to derail you there.
Hmm.
I think I
But
derailed twice.
anyway, so 1917 is the epic film about that takes place during the Great War, with follows a British soldier and a member of his company that are sent on a mission to cancel an attack by by I believe they're called the Devons,
The,
who are running into a trap, and they have to travel. I believe it's 9 miles by before dawn the following day, um, and deliver the message.
well, I mean, the average person walks 4 miles an hour. That's like a 2.5 hour journey. What's there's
Well, they are. This is World War One,
yeah.
so there's a lot of trench warfare going on. They're also carrying very heavy packs that
Hmm.
weigh them down,
So they got
and you
war stuff to
also
deal with.
yeah, and you also are not told exactly what time of day it is that they're given the assignment.
Okay. I was just being a dick, but
Yeah. Oh, I could tell. Uh,
sorry,
but
continue.
the two main characters are played by Dean Charles Chapman and George McKay. It's Lance Corporal Blake and Lance Corporal Schofield. Blake's brother is actually in the company that going towards the trap, and so he's the reason why they take a more passionate and more forward-looking approach. And the most noteworthy thing about this film is that it's all shot in a tracking shot. And so it's not one continuous shot, which I think has only been done once before, but the entire film is shot in a way that it seems like it's supposed to be one extended shot, with the exception of a very noticeable break in the middle where the camera is basically, it's as if you're knocked out, and then you wake up and that's sort of a very clear break. But the this film is probably my favorite from the last year, and I've been a big Once Upon a Time in Hollywood fan, big saying that it's clearly the best movie from last year, saying that it's the favorite to win the Oscar. I think that this movie beats it out. I absolutely adored it.
Wow.
The way that it's filmed gives you sort of the perspective that it really draws you in to sort of feeling you're a part of the, like, it's not just a party of two, it's a party of the two of them plus yourself. And so it feels like you're experiencing everything that's taking place in front of you as if you were standing there with them as a part of the mission.
Oh, that's pretty
And
cool.
and it I've heard, I didn't actually consider this when I had first watched it, but I have heard other people make reference to it looking like it was a video game, essentially, because there are uh like cut scenes, essentially, where Colin Firth is the one that gives you the mission. Then what's his name? uh
Benedict Cumberbatch?
well, yes, Benedict
I just know
Cumberbatch
he's in
is,
it.
yeah, he's the final colonel that you deliver the message to. And then the fellow that plays Moriarty in Sherlock, he's the sergeant right before crossing into no man's land. And then there's just like weird, different, like very famous actors that have bit parts that sort of give the impression of a cutscene, is how they've described it, and I hadn't really considered that. But the reason I enjoyed this so much, one, is because it takes a very harsh turn, probably 45 minutes to an hour in. It makes a very surprising twist that I did not expect to have happen. I'm gonna try and avoid giving any spoilers.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. It's still pretty recent.
Yeah, and because it's just, I feel like it won't have the same effect if you see it coming. But it's one of those things where and the you feel the same because of the tracking shot. And really, for me, the reason I liked it so much is because of the how great the cinematography was. I think that Roger Deakins, this may be his best work yet. And in case you're wondering, Roger Deakins, I think he's won like 4 Oscars already. But he has worked on things.
Is it The Shawshank Redemption, Fargo, A Beautiful Mind, Skyfall, Blade Runner? I found the man.
Yeah, he he's the one that's done stuff like Fargo, No Country for Old Men, Blade Runner 2049. All of these different. He's only won 1 Oscar, really.
Did you see Blade Runner 2049?
I did not.
Ah, okay. Well, then never mind.
That's what he won his Oscar for, though.
Oh, really?
But yeah, but let me just hold on. He has been nominated for Best Cinematography for Shawshank Redemption, heard of it? Fargo, Oh Brother Where Art Thou, Kundun or Kundun, I've never heard of that one. The Man Who Wasn't There, No Country for Old Men, The Assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford, The Reader, never heard of that one, True Grit, Skyfall, Prisoners, Unbroken, Sicario, Blade Runner 2049, and now 1917. He has also been nominated for.
Holy hell. That's not a small list at all.
No, and in fact, he was actually nominated for the Jesse James and No Country for Old Men were the same year, and he did not win it that year.
Damn. Alright, so yeah, the cinematography, and I think I kind of noted that last time we talked about this, I guess it was last week, that even in the trailers, like you could tell that the cinematography was just, I don't know, it looked like it was filmed, I don't want to say in a unique way, but in kind of a unique way that it made at least to me, it made the movie feel like it was going to be more compelling. Like, I, honest to God, sort of thought about seeing this movie.
I will tell you right now that this is a movie that you have to see in theaters. It is so good. I feel like you won't get the same experience because not only is the cinematography great, the score is excellent. I think that the score is probably one of the best scores I've heard in years in any movie.
Alright.
It really accomplishes its goal, because a lot of the movie is focused on, like, there isn't any dialogue going on, and so it's just sort of played up because it's taking place at night as they're trying to sneak past German lines, and so there isn't any dialogue taking place, and so all that you have to go on are the facial expressions of the characters and the score and the music that's taking place. I will also say that there is one scene, probably like half an hour before the end of the movie, where the characters stumble into like a French home where a young like either like probably 20-something-year-old girl is taking care of a baby, and just the way it's shot, the way it's written, the way it's directed, it is such a powerful scene, and I'm not sure if I'm the only one for which that stood out, but I loved it, just the way that they communicated and the way that they were interacting, and how you could see just on both of their on all the faces how what was going on was affecting them. I'm actually a little surprised that the actors in this got snubbed from the Oscars, which the nominations were announced this morning. But it's really hard for me to sort of just explain why I enjoyed this. It was just the direction of it, where there were just juxtaposition of different things, and the details that you could see, how it relayed the dirtiness and just sort of the death and depravity that comes with war. How everything isn't showy, and it's not always a bunch of big explosions, and like and people don't freak out this is 1917, so this isn't the start of the war. This is 3 years in, so people are accustomed to having seen dead bodies. And so there's one scene where he gets one of the characters is in the river, and he has to pull himself out by like pushing off of the dead bodies stuck sort of like in a jam at a dam in the river. And it's one of those things where you don't actually see it, like you don't see what it is. It's not focused on. It's not something that's specified that's what he's using as his way of getting out. The focus is on the character, and that sort of relays the point in and of itself, is that it is not noteworthy that he's using the dead bodies to be able to help himself get out of the river and save his own life, because that's just sort of commonplace at this point.
Yeah, okay, that's interesting. Because I don't know. You are really selling me on this movie.
I cannot tell you. This may be, it might be just sort of like an overreaction and a bit early, but this may be my favorite movie I've ever watched.
Holy hell! Well, maybe I'll have to take another trip to the theater in 2020.
Have two whole trips.
That's insane. In January, nonetheless.
Using it all up already.
I don't know if there's anything else coming out this year that I'll actually try to go see. So this will.
Any Marvel movies, maybe?
Yeah, I mean, like we said last time, I think I'm gonna wean myself off.
That's probably fair. I don't actually know. Did you, on that note, though, did you see that there's a preview that just came out where Jared Leto is going to play Morbius?
I think I have heard that. He's like the vampire dude, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know a whole lot about Morbius.
I don't either. I just know he was in like 1 or 2 episodes of the Spider-Man animated series.
Okay. Is this well? I don't know. I have never been a big fan of Jared Leto's acting. Although, didn't he win something once for something? That's a very vague.
I believe he has won an Oscar. He was at the very least nominated for an Oscar for Dallas Buyers Club. I believe he won it.
Yeah, maybe that's what I'm thinking of. I don't know. I've just
The,
never been a big fan of him. And after his Joker performance, I hesitate to see him as another villain in a superhero movie. But who knows?
well, he wouldn't be the villain.
That was Morbius. Like I said, I don't know anything about him. I just
I
know
think
he's a
he would be
vampire.
sort of an anti-hero sort of thing.
Okay. Well, still, that's I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Is it? What movie is it going to be? It's not a standalone, is it?
Yeah.
What the? I feel like they're stretching now. I don't
I'm
know.
sorry. They're stretching now, not when they decided to put it in the hands of 2 aliens, a talking tree, and a fucking raccoon.
I like Guardians of the Galaxy. People.
I do too, but the idea that they're stretching it with Morbius and not with the fucking Guardians of the Galaxy is a
No. I
bit
meant
of a
like
stretch.
what they're bringing because I feel like that's like a very small corner of like Marvel fanness. I feel like not that many people know or like Morbius enough to give him a like a solo film. That's
Okay,
what I was trying
let
to
me
get
just
at.
ask you this. Have you ever heard of the Guardians of the Galaxy before the movie came out in 2013?
Yes, actually, but it may have.
Really?
It honestly, now that in my hindsight, yeah, I mean, I knew of the existence, and it may have been like the OG Guardians, because like the ones in the movie, I think, are the second iteration. Like the first
Damn
one,
it, I was off by a year. It was 2014.
yeah. But so I did know of their existence, but now if I think back on it, I think you may have got me here because I may have only known a little bit about them. So maybe only slightly know more than I know about Morbius. So who knows? You're right. Maybe it'll be
I'm
fine.
sorry, I need to point this out. Do you know who had second billing on Guardians of the Galaxy on their IMDb page? According
On,
it's
on the first one?
like the first one, it's listed as Chris Pratt is obviously number 1.
Yeah.
And this it only has 2 names coming up on like the search bar
Is it?
underneath it.
I forget his real name. Is it Dewey Cox?
No.
No. Okay.
John C. Reilly.
Yeah,
no.
that was gonna be my. Who is it?
It's Vin Diesel.
Oh yeah, of course it is. I mean,
All he says in the entire movie is "I am Groot."
Yeah, and he nails it.
Like Zoe Saldana was nominated for an Oscar for Avatar.
Yeah, and like Bradley
And she
Cooper is
doesn't
the
get-
raccoon.
Yeah, Bradley Cooper. Has Bradley Cooper won an Oscar?
I don't know. If you don't know the answer, I sure should know. I don't know why you're asking me.
No, but he's been nominated for 8.
Yeah. So you're right. I don't know why.
Granted, 3 of them were for A Star Is Born.
I never
Because
saw that.
he wrote it and directed it.
Did you see that?
I have not. I really need to.
I've heard only good things, but I don't know. I guess I'll catch it. I'll catch it sometime. Do it.
He's technically. Oh, he was a producer on Joker too.
That I would. Okay. Yeah. Sure.
Did not know that.
No. Which. Okay. I think I'm gonna have to watch Joker here soon. I believe. Because I have caught like some clips of it, and I gotta say I have been thoroughly unimpressed. And I don't know if it's just because I've seen weird clips, or like not without the whole story. So I've stopped because I don't want to like ruin it.
I'm telling you, you need to do it start to finish.
Yeah, and I mean that's what I kind of
really
figured.
builds, and if you see it just sort of out of place, then it won't. Really
everything
won't
I've seen is my biggest problem that I've put together with watching like maybe 8 minutes of footage, if that, is it seems like they took one of DC's greatest supervillains and then made him a whiny little bitch.
Uh, that's a reasonable complaint. My belief is that this isn't actually like the Joker's origin stories. I think that this is more like you'll get it towards the end, but I think that he inspires the Joker.
Okay, yeah, I think we had this talk way back when, but you think they're going like more like Gotham with it, like TV series? Isn't that what they
Yeah,
did? Like, it's,
because Bruce Wayne in this, and this is a spoiler, Bruce Wayne is only like 10 years old in this movie.
yeah, isn't it right after the mugging gone bad, or like sometime around that?
No, like his parents are still alive in this movie.
Oh shit! Do they die in this movie?
I don't think so.
Oh well,
But
damn.
like Thomas Wayne is a key figure in this film.
Oh, okay. Well then, jokes. Never mind.
But it's also worth noting like Bruce Wayne, even like at his oldest, he's what, like 27 when he becomes Batman.
Yeah, like 25, 27.
Yeah, something like that. So that would mean Arthur Fleck in this movie is like 35, 40 years old. Joker is not going to be a fucking 50-year-old man that's pulling this shit with him.
Going toe to toe with Batman. Yeah, I think that's
Yeah.
it. Is he only 35 or 40? I thought he was like 50. Maybe that's just Joaquin Phoenix looks a little old. How old is he?
That is a great question. I know his older brother was in Stand By Me. I want to say he's like 48.
Okay, so yeah, I was kind of close. But anyway, so we want to wrap up your thoughts about 1917 because we have got way off topic.
He's only 46 or 45. He just turned 45 in October.
Oh, okay. So I mean, he's still like mid 40s, not quite 50, but
Yeah.
not gonna go toe to toe as give it what 15 years as a 50-year-old man, 55-year-old man with
Yeah.
Batman's just beating him up. Don't buy it, but I mean, who knows?
Oh, Arthur Fleck's only supposed to be 32 or 33. Yeah.
Oh well, okay.
I mean, he'd still be almost 55, or still almost 50 by the time, assuming give it another 15 years. So,
Yeah. So it still doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but that's one of those things you just gotta. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't affect the film. I don't think they're not making the extended universe.
yeah, that has been a major complaint though from a lot of fans is that as sort of a standalone film, it works a lot better than if you're trying to explain how this guy becomes the arch enemy of Batman.
Yeah. No, I probably agree with it. I'll try to catch it here soon, and then I'll let you know. We can have this conversation again.
And on the note, just before we move on and get back to any closing thoughts on that, I would say that Birds of Prey is the next superhero movie coming out, I believe, and boy, that's gonna be a doozy.
I don't know how I feel about it. I want it to do good, but I don't understand where it fits in with everything. And I also just haven't been able to give a shit about it because it looks way too much like Suicide Squad, just from the trailers I've seen.
Yeah, yeah, but we'll get into that.
Yeah, I'm sure.
When,
Yeah, we'll get there eventually.
Yeah, but back on 1917.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, so I think that George McKay got snubbed for an Oscar nomination. The only question is like who would I have gotten rid of in the list of Oscar nominees because there's just so much going on. Just let me see here if I can see the complete list. I believe that Robert De Niro was also kept off, and so was Adam Sandler from Uncut Gems. So there were a lot of Best Actor snubs that actually took place. Yeah, I haven't seen The Two Popes or Marriage Story or Pain and Glory, but the idea that Adam Driver, Antonio Banderas, and Jonathan Pryce all outperformed this is, I'm sort of hard pressed to agree with that.
Yeah, and I mean, do you think it had
But
anything to do with this coming out so late? I
no,
guess
because
probably
it's
not.
not. It has. I think it has the second or third most nominations of any film. I think Leonardo DiCaprio and Joaquin Phoenix were basically guaranteed to get nominated, and this is actually one of those years where the acting category is just so, especially for best actor. I think the only one where it's not super strong is best actress, because I don't particularly see like like Harriet, the actress who played Harriet, and Renee Zellweger playing Judy Garland. I didn't really see them getting nominated,
Oh,
but
she got no. I didn't see Harriet. Well, I didn't see Judy either, but I would not have expected her to get nominated for the Judy Garland movie.
she won the Golden Globe for it.
What?
Yeah,
What kind of Judy Garland family slash demon or someone trying to appease by all this bullshit? Like, why does that movie exist? You shouldn't win an Oscar for it or a Golden Globe for it.
people loved Judy Garland. It's
Apparently.
it's a story about a child actress. It's like one of the first stories of a child actress who was ruined by Hollywood.
People love a good kid getting ruined by Hollywood.
I mean, she was Al, or not Alice. She was Dorothy.
Yeah.
She brought to life one of the most iconic characters in children's stories in American history.
Which,
Not to me-
don't you hate it?
Oh, I don't hate it. I just think it's overrated.
Oh, okay.
It's probably one of the like top five best kids movies ever. But it's just like people are. It's listed as the sixth best movie of all time, and I think that that's just horseshit. There's no way that there's only five movies better than that. I just don't see where they're coming from with that. Now, if
Yeah.
you want to talk about like innovations at the time, then I think it was the first movie to ever be done in color, which is
Was a big deal,
something.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a huge deal.
We also, I
But
think we already have all this on the episode where we shit on Judy Garland.
yeah, we did. Yes.
Oh shit, we're doing some things time wise here. I guess. Well, no, this should be fine. All right.
Yeah, no, but yeah. So anyway, we've gone just off the rails completely at this point. But yeah, 1917, just one of the best movies I've ever seen. Absolutely loved it.
All right. Sounds good. I think hard think. I'm gonna try to go see it.
Okay, definitely would recommend. Um, then so we might as well move on to the previews for this week.
Yep, sounds good. Which one do you want to talk about first?
Let's go with Bad Boys for Life. Let's leave that teaser in there for the last one with Doolittle.
Okay. All right. So, Bad Boys for Life. I honestly could go back and cut out my audio from any previous episode about how Hollywood is a money hungry, soul sucking, franchise ruining beast. But I'm not. Because I wanted to be really, really mad. And I was not really, really mad until whatever, like, squad of youngins appear in the trailer. I would have been okay with a third Bad Boys. But granted, it would have been a third Bad Boys. Like, I didn't expect the movie to be good. I wouldn't expect it to be, yeah, be good, bring anything new to the table. I think it would have been the same thing, and they're not trying to hide it, and that would have been all good and fine. And then this like young squad of nonsense. I don't know how big a part they'll play in the movie, but I didn't need it. I could have gone like Will Smith and Martin Lawrence. They have a good chemistry, I think, at least in the first two, and I'm assuming that would carry over. So I don't know. It's another one in a franchise, and that's pretty much all it is.
In case you're wondering, Bad Boys for Life, Bad Boys 4 is in pre-production.
Okay, I'm gonna be more angry about that one.
Okay, just thought I'd bring that up. I actually did not realize that Martin Lawrence was still acting. The last movie I had heard of him being a part of, or last project at all that I heard of him being a part of, was Big Mama's Like Father, Like Son. And that was in 20. Do you not remember the Big Mama's House series?
Oh, I think I repressed them. I remember them now, and I'm mad about it. But alright, yeah. That was in 20 what?
2011.
Okay.
So I had not seen him at all, and boy, did he get fat.
Yeah, I was thinking that same thing. Yeah, it shows that he hasn't been acting.
Yeah, it shows that he got old too. Meanwhile, Will Smith looks like he did a decade ago.
Yeah, are they aging Will Smith? Are they unaging him, or does he just look that good? I haven't.
He just looks that good. Unfortunately, none of his movies have looked as good as he has.
Also, okay. So I was reading this somewhere. I don't know how, but Will Smith, he demands one of the highest salaries in Hollywood, apparently. Why are all of his movies absolute butt? Like,
it's a great question.
Who is paying the man that much?
He was in Aladdin, which did break $1 billion.
Okay, I mean, but that's Aladdin.
That's a Disney property. So he's in Spies in Disguise also.
Did that come out yet?
It just came out recently. We didn't talk about it because I didn't want to.
Yeah, I wouldn't know what to say about it. I feel like that's. But yeah, who's paying the man this much to be in Gemini Man?
That wasn't good. Bright was a Netflix movie, so they just throw money at stupid shit. Collateral Beauty was supposedly like a pretty good movie, but nobody went and saw it. Suicide Squad was utter dog shit. Concussion, he was snubbed for an Oscar for that.
Yeah, I did hear Concussion was good.
Focus was... I heard it wasn't great. He had a cameo in Anchorman 2. I forgot about that. After Earth, I mean, my God, the last movie I would argue that was good. I mean, Concussion may have been good. I haven't seen that. Before that, the last one was 7 Pounds.
Yeah, also, hold on. We need to stop this here because we've definitely had the shit on Will Smith discussion before.
We really have.
We're just going down the rabbit holes of things we've said before in this episode.
But people keep putting him in movies.
No, I get it. I don't get it. Well, I get it. I get what you're saying. I don't get it.
Well, the problem is, he's very charming and, very interesting and fun to see in movies, but he just picks the most dog shit scripts I can possibly imagine.
Yeah. Yep. But, so what are your takes about, besides Martin Lawrence?
This movie did not need to happen. I still don't know why it's happening. I will go to see it, because it is a Bad Boys movie. And you know what? I'm still gonna... Bad Boys and Bad Boys 2 were very fun, very good movies. Yeah, basically what you want from an action comedy.
Yeah, and I think that's pretty much the appeal of this one, is just, you know what you're getting, here you go.
My only concern is that, Martin Lawrence is going to kind of mail it in, and I don't know who any of the other actors in this movie are, so I assume that they're probably not going to be super great, and then Will Smith's going to be standing there, holding the bag, like he is in every fucking movie he's a part of.
Yeah, I think that's...
He's over here actually doing a fairly decent job. He may not be doing great, but, he's doing his part, And like he's been nominated for 2 Oscars. Like he's a good actor, and he's doing his bit, and everyone else is just eating a pile of shit around him. Just eating a bag of dicks. That's what I anticipate this being. That whole like he's being put in charge as basically the babysitter of some youthful new team. That I'm just super not interested in.
Yeah. Is this his
That's
pacifier?
yeah. I'm worried that the movie is going to basically just exist for a few. Let me see how long this movie is going to be, because it seems like it's a full 2 hours. I have no idea how they're gonna fill 2 hours of screen time with that. Like it seems like something that should only be an hour and a half. Like I don't see how they're gonna jam pack anything interesting in there for 2 full hours.
No, yeah, I agree. I don't.
That having been said, I'm still gonna go watch it. It's still Bad Boys.
Yeah, which is yeah. You know what you're getting into though. It's not. It's...
Exactly.
All right. Well, let's.
It can't be worse than Gemini, man.
Probably not. Who knows? I never saw it. So you got anything else? You want to talk about some Doolittle?
Let's go on to Doolittle.
Okay, what the fuck is a dragon? I agree with the ostrich when it was like, I'm not expecting a dragon. Like, I wasn't either. Especially coming into it, I was like, another Dr. Doolittle movie, this will be fun. And then in the first, like, you know how they all do like a 5 second, like, shot kind of like preview for like YouTube now? So when it comes up as an ad, it does like the 5 seconds before you can click to skip.
Yeah.
Like, try to pull you in. Yeah. Well, there's a dragon in that. I was like, what the fuck? And then I remembered it wasn't a modern veterinarian that could talk to animals always as Doolittle. And I don't know, maybe there's some dragons in like because it was a series of kids books. I think we said that earlier.
Yes.
And I think they did get slightly more like fantastic as time went on. So maybe there's some precedent for this that I'm just unaware of. So I'm not going to fault it too much for that. I just wasn't expecting it. Other than that, the animal CGI looks pretty bad for a movie this close to release.
Yeah.
And I do appreciate that Robert Downey Jr. is doing this. I think probably because like, well, here's another point I have. I couldn't tell if it was supposed to be a kids movie. It looked like it's trying to straddle a line and not doing it well. Like it needed to either commit one way or another. But I do appreciate Robert Downey Jr. doing it because God knows he's made enough money from Marvel in the last like 10 years. And now I would assume he's just doing this because he thought it would be fun. And I also think this movie could be retitled Sherlock Holmes, Dr. Doolittle. Because I think he's playing the same character. He does the same hat flip.
I mean, he's doing himself at this point.
Yeah, I guess. And maybe that was what Sherlock Holmes was too.
I mean, well, that's what Tony Stark was.
Yeah. Yeah.
Robert Downey Jr. was not playing Tony Stark, except when he was in the suit. Robert Downey Jr. was playing Robert Downey Jr. that was working out and married to Gwyneth Paltrow.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't think it's gonna be a good movie. I don't think that's surprising. It might, if it is more kids movie than like I was just not perceptive to. I think it'll be a fine kids movie. Maybe that's why the CGI isn't great because they're like, who cares what these kids think? There are a lot of names I recognized in the like voices. I would assume they're the voices of the animals. So that's
most of them are, yeah.
Yeah, so that's that. I don't know. I mean, it's a movie. That's. What are your thoughts, Ian?
Yeah, I'm kind of torn on it the same way that you are, in the sense that, well, for one, I love Robert Downey Jr. I've always found him charming and really enjoyed his acting. So I'll probably end up seeing this as well. But I'm not at all really interested in the plot. it seems like it's probably going to be fairly shallow. I think it does have a bit of it that's more like maybe not a kids movie, but like an early teenagers movie, like maybe a preteen movie, where it's not like appealing to small children, but also not appealing to quite as wide of an audience as I
Yeah,
think
that
it's
might be a
trying to
good way to
hit.
put it.
I think it's trying to hit like the nostalgic audience who had the Doctor Doolittle Eddie Murphy movies when they were growing up, and also try and attract in like more like 12-year-olds that want to see like funny talking animals sort of thing.
Yeah, I guess I could see that. I don't know about the nostalgia because I'm pretty sure I watched all those movies and then I don't remember them at all.
Really, I
Yeah,
loved those movies.
I
Wow, I really enjoyed the first one. The second one was more meh.
Aren't there three of them? Or was the third one
There's
Eddie Murphy wasn't in?
no, it was his daughter was able
Yeah,
to
okay.
talk to animals. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It'll probably be a good. It's probably a solid family movie, and you're absolutely right about Robert Downey Jr. Like he's just fun to watch. So I don't think. I think at the very least the movie will be entertaining for no other reason than like he's doing Robert Downey Jr. things.
Yes.
Um,
You know what my favorite Robert Downey Jr. story is?
what?
Okay, I have two. One, my favorite is that he decided to get clean because he was like a drug addict, an unreliable drug addict back in the 90s.
Yeah.
And the reason he decided to get clean is because he was like still high. Like he had done a bunch of drugs, but he got hungry. And so before he went and did some more, he decided to stop in at in the Burger King drive-thru and get a Whopper. He took one bite of the Whopper, or maybe like ate half of it, and just sort of looked at himself in the rearview mirror and said, "This is fucking terrible. What am I doing with my life?" And then drove, because he was in Los Angeles at the time, drove to the nearest beach and threw all of his drugs into the ocean.
I think you've told me that before. That's a good one.
And then my second favorite is that every time you see Robert Downey Jr. eating on the set of, or in the Avengers, that wasn't written into the script. They just kind of had to deal with it because he would hide snacks around around the set. And so just throughout the set as they were acting, he would just casually walk over there as if it was a natural part of the of the scene, and that's where he would get like a bag of chips or like a granola bar or something.
I didn't know. I did not know that. That's good. All right. Well, do you want to wrap it up?
Sure. So I will say that just in a review, 1917 is definitely ready for the red carpet. I think that we're in agreement that both Bad Boys for Life and Doolittle are kind of walking that tightrope, walking a fine line.
Oh, well, no,
I
I don't think either one will come close to ready for the red carpet. But I
Oh,
don't
okay.
necessarily think they'll be. I think they'll be entertaining, but definitely not good. If that makes
Okay,
sense.
then we're in agreement on this. They will neither will be good movies, but you know what you're getting into with both of them. I think that they'll both be fine for what they're trying to do, but neither is going to do a great job because like I feel like the Bad Boys is sort of like the Men in Black 3 but with Bad Boys.
Yeah,
And so I feel like it'll get a similar reception where people will be like, I guess it's Bad Boys, so it's fine. And then Doolittle is like, it's a fine family movie, but I think we're in agreement then that neither is ready for the red carpet. So we've got two instances of trailer trash.
that was more intense than normal.
Yes,
Whew.
yes, it was.
All right. Well, do you want to just go ahead? Go right into your plugs. Let's do them. Tell me about the
Okay,
podcast you're doing.
so I'm still doing the Fade the Public podcast, which is on sports gambling. Uh, we are in the middle of of an NFL playoffs bet that I'm not doing very well on. I am down 2 games and against the spread picking, and in order to win, I would have to get all 3 of the remaining games correct.
It's not looking good.
No, it is not. Um, and that would also require Ryan, my co-host, to get all of them incorrect. So that's also not great. And so that's what's going on now. And then we also, I did just win a bet on the bowl season for who would have a better record picking those games. So that's nice. And so once we're done with football, I think we're going to transition into talking more about college basketball and maybe a bit more hockey talk. And then I just released. We're having some trouble getting it more widespread, but I just published the first episode of my other podcast, Stereotopical, which was on healthcare. And the second episode is currently being edited, and it's going to be about the current state of West Virginia. And that's what I have going on.
Interesting stuff. Where can people find those? The 2 listeners.
Well, honestly, we're having some difficulty with the
Oh,
streaming. We thought that we had managed to get it onto Spotify, but we need to sort of figure out why that is not working.
okay. Well then, never mind. And as for me, I don't have anything going on. If you are looking for an engineer, you should hire me because I need to find a job soon. Other than that, this has been Robert Downey Jr. Anecdotes. Thanks for joining us. Until next time.
Until next time?